Hello, welcome to Quick's demonstration on how you can generate an email notification on AR receipts. So there can be instances wherein all the fields from AR payment or AR sales invoice payment are not available for submerged fields for email notification. So what you can do is that you can come up with this solution that will essentially store first the information from the AR payment object, and from there um, you actually create a custom record, and the email notification to the customer is sourced from the custom record. All right, so what you can see here is the custom object. So at the moment, I defined it like ABN, but you can just come up with a custom object, maybe called custom AR payment, and that's where you will store the fields. So in here, I have fields like amount paid, contact email address. So this is essential for the email address to whom the email notification will be sent to. And that's one restriction, essentially, with this one here. That's why we come up with this solution. It's all because, when you have like a smart event, the smart event, the email address of the recipient is fixed. So we have to have it dynamic, right? Meaning the email address should be dynamic depending on who the customer is. So that's why this is the solution that we're suggesting for receipts. So store the information first from AR payment or custom record, especially like the email address. And from there, you can just make use of this as a merge field in order to send email notification. Yeah, just carrying on. So minimum information in here. So I have the amount paid, contact email address. I also have the contact name, and we have the payment reference or payment ID, which is essentially the record number instead of payment ID. Yeah, and yeah, so that's the custom record. So again, this custom record is has been created is all because we would like to send the email notification to every customer, and every customer has different email address recipients, right? Because making use of a smart event is quite restrictive, because a smart event you can only have like a static email address to whom that smart event will be sent to. So instead, come up with a custom record and just trigger the email notification from that record. All right, so you since you have this custom record now, which house the fields that we'll be using for email notification. So you have to create like a smart event. So just like this one here, the smart event, the purpose of this smart event is to essentially move the records from the AR payment into custom record, right? To populate the custom record from the AR payment. As what you can see here, the smart event is deployed on AR payment. And we have here as well on, yeah, an API, meaning on create of the payment, right? So we have to populate as well all the fields there on the custom record. So we have the date paid, amount paid, email address, custom name, reference, payment ID. And right, maybe this one here is just an addition for dimension relationship anyways, but these are the 5 fields, minimum, right, that we would like to show. Yeah, assuming that, yeah, these are the only fields that you would like to let the customer know. So those fields should be defined here on the custom record. So this is smart event. Again, will transfer the information from the AR payment, which is what the object has been selected here for, and move that along into the custom fields or fields of the custom record, which we have defined in here, right? Okay, so with that one, what will happen is that, okay, since we have, once an AR payment is created, then it will try to create custom record using this smart event. And with a smart event there, once the record is already on the custom record, then it will initiate the trigger. So you can create a trigger in here. So the trigger is essentially deployed on after create, right? So the purpose of this one here is to send email notification. All right, so the trigger created here is to trigger the email notification to the customer. As what you can see here, we have the contact email address. So that's actually the field, right? That's actually the field. Now it's going to be dynamic because we are storing the email address on the custom record. So every time a payment in there, it will actually be changing depending on the email address of the customer. And it's quite dynamic now, right? So send email notification to the appropriate email address defined in the customer record being moved to the um, custom object, right? And you can define the template in here. So the template is that you just have to display, let's say, customer name, customer contact email, date paid, date amount, a payment ID for reconciliation purposes, right? So that's the email notification. Okay, let's have this in action and see how we go. All right, so I have here the I've pre-created an AR invoice, which is this one. So let me just process first a payment out of it. So let's process a payment in here. And this is my customer. I'll just show all AR invoice, and I'll just choose this one that I just created earlier for $165. And I'll pay everything. And I'll just, yeah, my demo instance is multi-currency. That's why I can see their amount received, base currency, and all those fields. All right, so I have 165 there, right, as a payment. So let's post this one, right? All right, so the payment has been made successfully. So we have this one, right? And AR payment with record. Let me just have a look if I can see it there. Yep. Okay, so we're talking about this one here, which is this time, right? So let's have a look at the smart event. If we can still look at the status. If I go to company in here and smart event jobs, yep, it's already been processed. So if you have a look at this one, what will happen is that we triggered it around this time, right? So let's look at the smart event job. It says success, which is good. So remember, the purpose of the smart event is to copy the information from the AR payment into a custom record. More specifically, the email address, because we would be using that for sending email notification to each unique customer. All right, so the smart event, let's look at the object. So pardon my custom object in here. Just made use of an existing one, which I did previously. So let me just clear that out. And this is the one that we just created now, which is for 165, right? Okay, it has reference ID of 1166. All right, so now let's have a look at, let me just close this one for now, but I'd like to see the status of the trigger. So if I go to company, then platform trigger log, and I have this one here, which is send email custom object, right? When we deployed on that one to send email, and we have around that time anyways, right? So it's a success, which is good. So which means that the email notification has been sent from the custom object called ABN in this case, right? Okay, so let's have a look at my, let me just stop sharing for a bit while I'm opening up my email address, or email rather. just open up that email, and I can just share my screen again. All right. Can you see this email notification now? So that was sent like 2 minutes ago. And as what you can see here, we have all the fields that um, we defined on the platform trigger to be merged from the custom record. So you have the customer name, you have the contact email, we have the date paid, which is today, and we have the amount paid in there, and this is the record number of the payment. And as what you can see, the two in here just so happened that it's my email address, but that's actually the email address of the customer that we are actually storing on the custom record. That's why it will be sending appropriately to the correct email address of each customer involved. So yeah, hopefully this quick demonstration helps on how you can send like email notification upon processing of a receipt, particularly to address the restriction on Smart Event. That Smart Event only allows a static recipient email address, but making use of a custom record to store the customer email address, the corresponding customer email address of each customer, uh, will be good when it comes to email notification. So hopefully this demonstration helps. Thank you.